Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. Kind of forced my hand a little bit. Yes, I know. Thank you for the love, everyone. First of all, the devs, as I was literally talking, they sent primordial portions to everybody, realizing that once people equip them, they can't get rid of them. I wonder how we're going to be obtaining this. I think it's going to be in the resource store. Okay, now you can buy them, okay? 1,500 each to remove them. Kind of expensive, but we get some free ones. So, you get 20. That means 4 of them you can remove. You can test a little bit. They gave us 20 to summon, 10 to get a summon off the bat. Now that everybody's summoning, it puts the pressure on me to quickly get the tier list out, because here's the thing. There is one where you can choose the rate up, right? So when you go to Wish, and this is what I noticed. I think a lot of people are reporting this already. So it's just like when you first start the game, there's a hidden pity. Like, I'm pretty sure when you do your alchemize, the very first one's going to have a pity of 10. The second one's going to have a pity of 20 before you get to full 40 on pity. So that's why I have a feeling like a lot of you guys are going to feel like, whoa, this is really lucky. I got my first one on 10 and then got another one within 20. Pretty sure that's just like the hidden pity system. We're going to see the same thing here. I think once you reset it, you get these alchemized ones, and there's a chance of getting legendary arcane gems. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Now, here you can choose the wish gem. If you don't get the one you want, you can, rotate. We're going to talk about which one's the best. I'm going to actually just select that. In my mind, that's the best one right now. I'm sure they'll release new ones, but let's go right into it. This is your first impression analysis tier list video. I did spend some time reading through all the skill description, using my experience as a theory crafter to whatever extent you have seen in my videos. Let's get right into it. I'm not going to do we're not doing PowerPoints, we're not doing paint, because I realize these images probably don't mean very much to you, because they're going to look very similar for the most of it. Starting off in the bottom, all right, you're going to definitely get a lot of copy of these. All 3 of them are somewhat useful. I think, for the most part, if you have a really strong hero, I wouldn't even recommend you throwing a gem of power, because a lot of the time, these skills might not even as good as the basic skill. So you're better off using the basic attack on your hero than to even, use one of these skills, right? Here, fully leveling it up, 100% of the damage, 60% chance to get feebleness onto the enemy if they have higher HP than me, increase the direct damage dealt by 20%. So this is, and then you get a minus cooldown. So you get a 4-turn cooldown, but damage of 100%. Like, most of the basics are a lot. Like, you can get attack up for 2 turns. Okay, like these minor little things, I almost feel like you don't even want to put it on here, right? Like, you look at any respectful, decent hero, their basic attacks are better. However, that being said, if you're free to play and you're dealing with your typical, like your average hero, let's say you're stuck using something like I don't know. Let's just say you're using Arrow, right? Arrow's basic attack is 2800. By using that particular gem, all of a sudden you're doing 100 attack damage AoE. You're also getting attack up. So in a sense, it makes the hero a little bit different. And of course, these gems you're going to get a ton of these free gems, right? So you get feebleness onto the enemy. So any direct damage dealer you want to use for this, that is. But late game, you will not even want to equip it on a really good hero, because you're better off using the basic attack. All right. Next one here. Grant a single ally a shield for 2 turns up to Tiller. If they do not have shield, grant max value. Now, this is only granting 1 shield, 1 heal. This is, again, not very useful, right? Like, but again, thinking about it, early game, if you happen to have, really weak heroes that have basic attack that don't do anything, having a 3rd skill does give you a little bit more option around it. And finally, here's one healing. So restore by single HP. This even at the highest level. So you can get this once your hero's exclusive 5. So for example, your early game, you got epic heroes. This might actually work on an epic hero, right? You store 6% max for ally. You're getting that 1 extra heal. You're going through a campaign, and having an extra heal when your basic attack do something really useless. So let's just say early game, right? For example, a lot of you early game might have a hero, oh, I don't know, like Maya, for example, right? You look at Maya's basic attack here. You restore 5% for the lowest HP and you do 120. You're better off using a skill instead of that. So it does improve your hero a little bit if you happen to summon a lot of that. And but overall, any respectable hero, equipping one of these, you will never use it. It doesn't give you any extra stats. It's kind of useless. Okay, let's go into the epic tier. I would say epic tier is almost kind of the same thing. I would imagine you will only consider using them once you are fully maxed out. When you any hero, you can go up to 5-star, and you have to be exclusive 4 or higher, I believe, to be able to upgrade it to 2 stars when you use it. And once you remove this from the hero, it will also be regressed. Now, what's key here is the only thing for going higher is you are getting a cooldown reduction and then getting a little bit more on some of the skills. So with the first one, Snake Eye of Poison, I would recommend only using purples. We're only going to look at 5 exclusive or higher because we're assuming at some point later in the game you'll get so many copy of these epic ones that you will have them at higher stars. Earlier on, they're not really much worth it. Like the damage you do here, these multiplier, again, for better heroes, they're not as good as some of the basics. Like here, like, yes, there's a small chance of doing attack down. Like anything that gives debuff actually makes it decent. So this one, I'll say it's somewhat usable. Once you get down here, you get deep poison. So for some of the, I feel like some of these skills will make some of the, I think this is really helpful for a lot of the free-to-play players because yes, you can equip it to like your average hero that's lower on the tier list. So if you haven't checked my tier list, I will link, the hero tier list to this video. The heroes, a lot of heroes that require rework, right? You slap one of these things on there and they become a lot better because their basics are so useless that by equipping one of these, you get rid of the basic basically, and you can have a much better cycle and you're able to do some stuff like applying attack down to them, right? And then you can also get deep poison onto them for a poison hero. So this is for poison heroes. This one's for direct damage, all right? So you're doing 3 stages of damage to a single enemy. This is a decent amount of damage. There's also a chance to inflict bleed, all right? And you can also get heavy bleed for one. So if you don't have Shard Noah, you want to do some extra bleed damage. So this one potentially works well, right? Over here, Diamond Purity. This is where the one I showed you earlier in the previous video. This one's really good because you get a nice cleanse, right? And you get extra HP. So this is almost like having an extra skill on Liz. Like I feel like, for the free to play, you're really going to appreciate having this extra skill because, you're even I think, for some of the heroes that are a little bit stronger, right? Their basic attacks are still kind of weak. So they're really good filler skills. Let's pick something like Freud, right? Deals damage of max HP, inflicts chance of poison, restore for ally. This is meh, right? Some of these heroes have like a basic attack that's really meh, right? Like even you look at the latest hero, like Opsora, right? You're really using it for counterattack, but even having one of those skills on Opsora so that you don't have to use her basic is really nice, right? Some of these even really strong heroes have a really lousy basic. And by having that skill means you really don't have to use your basic and you get to use one of these. And this is where, again, some of these epic ones become relevant. For example, Opsora, you're going to have a lot of HP on her. So giving her something like a shield will be here, right? Sorry, you don't want to do consolidation for this one. I think one of them gives you a shield. This one gives you a shield. End of the turn, grants the owner a shield, right? You can give this one's for self shield, beginning of the wave, give everybody a defense up. So having this as a passive, this is one of the passives at an epic level. And this one's really useful for a lot of heroes. Good for defensive heroes, things that you need to survive, right? Here is Jewel of Moonlight. So restore max HP for all allies. Like I would totally throw this on Opsora, like I said, right? Get 1 layer of heal on the hero with the lowest HP. This is probably the best one I've seen so far in the epic tier. So if you happen to get this one, the one furthest on the right is really good. This passive is also really good. This is sort of an okay shield with a little bit of cleanse for 1 layer of dot. A really good early game. Later game is probably not enough. It is nice to get a little bit extra shield, but overall it's very meh. The best one, you know, you can throw this on so many different heroes, and just really nice, right? Drew of Moonlight. And this passive one, you know, end of each turn, getting a shield for max HP, just making that particular a little bit tankier is really helpful. Bloodstone of Berserker, this one is absolutely garbage. You're getting 2 turns of Self Leech, all right? You get Self Leech, you get direct damage, and you cleanse 1 debuff from self. But you literally lost a turn, right? What I just showed you is you're losing a turn to do this, and you're consuming self HP. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Unless you're a hero where all you do is basic attack, you do attacks on enemies' turn, you benefit from the leech, and it's sort of like a self buff. Something like Holder, right? If we see heroes more like Holder or I don't know, like this might work on Brynhild, like, but Brynhild still want to take turns, right? You want to proactively take a lot of turns. This doesn't seem to help. Maybe you can use this for Brynhild, I guess. You know, one of the turns where you don't want to use a basic attack, but I still wouldn't see why you would want to do that. So yeah, or for stalling purposes. I guess if you want to stall for a turn, like this is just not good. This one we already talked about, ally protection consolidation, and it's only 1 ally, so it's really kind of useless. So yeah, the best one epic is this one. This is somewhat useful. All other ones are really meh and, you know, not worth using for most heroes. Okay, going to the top. This is where I'm gonna kind of start off with the one that confuses me the most. All right, some of these are really bad. They don't get relevant until you get so many extra stars on it, to a point where why would you put so many stars on it? It's almost like if you get them as dupes or ones you really don't want, you can't use them until you get a lot of extra stars. Okay, so let's go over it, right? These are the tool that I think these are the two that I pulled, right? And I think these are the 2 best ones. So, you know, if you're summoning right now, right? And if you plan to get any, like, I don't know, there's a chance of getting legendary arcane gems. Glory of, so I guess maybe I just got lucky. I summoned these, right? The chances of getting them are the same, but I ended up getting this one, and I got this one, and these 2 are really good. So I guess I was lucky. I thought it was just guaranteed these 2. Okay, let's go back. I'm getting distracted here. All right, let's go through these. All of the arcane ones. In my mind, okay, the 2 that I got lucky on, these are really good. Okay, there's a couple of the really good ones in here, but there are some really bad ones here. So let's just go from left to right. I'll tell you what's good or bad. This one, not that great, okay? You get surge status, and when we evaluate these gems, I'm not going to evaluate at 5-star. I'm going to evaluate it realistically at, you know, at 1 star, because you want to be able to use these as soon as you get them. And wasting a turn to get a self buff, that is not worth, okay? There's rarely any hero that can benefit from this. Literally, it's almost like a hero that has super low speed. You get the turn right away at the beginning. You get crit and direct damage up, and then you never take a turn ever again. And for whatever reason, your ally takes turns and they do damage or something like that. Yeah, unless it's a hero like that, you almost never will want to use this. It's completely useless, right? Unless we get a hero like this is so niche to like literally it's like standing there. It's a turret. Kind of like Lysander, but for direct damage, and has to be super slow, right? Like, other than that, you would never use this because you're wasting an entire turn. It gets a little bit better here because you get additional 40% turn meter. Here, only at max out. Once you fully maxed out, you get surge status, you get 100% turn meter, you get 1 cooldown. Only when you fully max out. This is really good because you get your turn back, right? Reset the skill cooldown, increase the turn after it gets a kill. Like, this becomes super good now. It's like a self buff, then boom, you get all ally attack up. So this is one of those really weird ones. Is like, this becomes super, super, super good at max, right? It's like you get a self buff and you nuke and you reset this cooldown every time you get a turn. This completely is game breaking at like 7 copies. So good luck getting 7 copies. I'm sure we'll eventually get to 7 copies and you can put this on like a DPS and it'll be awesome. But before then, this is absolutely garbage. Okay. The next one, Guardian of Promise. This is passive. Every time we can get a buff, you heal. This is very usable upfront. So I really like this one because it's very free to play friendly. Let's see what it looks like once it's fully maxed out. Once it's fully maxed out, it makes kind of your heroes a little bit unkillable. Take direct damage, give yourself defense up, take dot, get res up. Every time it's triggered, get turn meter. If it's defense class, get sacred protection. So if max out, some of these do crazy stuff, but we're rating these based on how good they are, just at one copy. And I say, a lot of heroes like that can give attribute buffs up. Like this will help on Nordak, help on Wukong, will help on Panda. Like it'll help a lot of heroes out with this, especially being a passive skill. And Wukong, Panda, all of these have a lot of cooldown cycle reduction. They're low cooldown. So low cooldown really benefit from having a passive skill. Okay. This one, wait until you have 7 copies and it'll be a monster. Okay, next one over. Divine Healing Spirit. Okay, starts out with just being an AoE heal. So what is this good for? Healer classes that have like 4 turn cooldowns, right? Giving this extra skill, giving a cooldown. Like you can use it on so many different heroes. It's just a really nice all-rounder. Works really well with any healers have high healing percentages. I'm sure this will scale with that. So, put this on your Magdi, right? Put this on your Nordak. Nordak doesn't heal, but putting it in now, you can heal with Nordak and, help top up in between those skills. So this is really good. In my mind, this is sort of like your average. If you get this is so useful. You can use it everywhere. Once you get later on, you heal, 20% of the HP. This is really good. Like throw it on Catherine even. Like Catherine, I guess this 3 turn cooldown. You're going to have 2 basic attack in between. Yeah, and then you get some extra heals, I guess. So like you can use it on a lot of heroes in general. Anything with HP healing, will work. And here you get extra turn meter, and then you get block removal. So at high copies, like I feel like the power scaling on these are like you get to 5 copies, 6 copies, 7. The last few copies, you're actually getting way more bang for your buck than the earlier increases. It's like, oh, I get 3% extra. Like at 4 copies, at 3 copies, what? No. 1 copy is 11. Oh, you need 8 copies for these. Wow. I just realized you need 8 copies to max it out, not 7. That is crazy. Okay. Let's keep going. This one's absolutely garbage early on because you're like 2 stages of attack damage. Only when it gets converted to poison damage. But even that's still not good. At the very end, you get poison up 2 before dealing damage. Okay, this is where all of a sudden it becomes different because you're now completely changing it to the sense of this is now giving you an extra skill. So for a lot of poison damage dealing heroes, now all of a sudden having a skill that gives you poison up, being buff, that makes it a lot more relevant. And first stage has chance to slow down. So at 8 copies, you even have a chance to freeze. Okay, so going from 7 to 8 is huge. That 1 extra copy. So it's weird. Like just like the very first one, it's like it's garbage until the end where all of a sudden it becomes super powerful. And that seems to be the trend with how they develop some of these is they're not good when you get the first few copy, but eventually late game when you get so many dupes on these things, they will be good. But the thing is, you can only use on 1 hero. You need so many copies of this. So for whales, this is like an infinite money pit that you can dump your money into. But for the average player, we're looking at, hopefully spreading it out across our heroes. And for some of them, like this one, I like this one because this is just nice and simple. Immortal shield, 30%, 1 layer, right? So it's like giving everybody a 30% shield. Just a really nice additional cycling for your defensive heroes to get that 1 extra turn, right? Get that extra shield in there. Really helpful for your survivability. So some of these, like this one, right? Like it's just so good to use, nice and simple. Later on, yes, you get way bigger shield. You can go up to 60% of your shield. It cannot be stolen. It gives damage immunity for a turn, right? Like it does so much more at higher levels. It's just, it will be a while before we get there. And I would rather, spread these across multiple heroes than to say, oh, I'm gonna wait until I have 8 copies to stack it onto one. Of course, when you get 8 copies stacked on one, it'll be really good, and you can regress and move it out and combine it later. This one, I would say, this is for your burn hero. It helps increase burn. And burn, we talked about burn heroes needing a little bit of a buff after everybody else kind of got a buff. This can do a lot of layers, right? And this being passive, you can keep it on one of your heroes, and it just stacks up nicely. And grant all allies, and then just it helps with your burn team. Like just one copy. I like passives. They don't interfere with your normal cycling of your turns. And this just works out that way. You can stick it on onto this. What's nice is you can stick this onto a support hero, and it'll work really well. This is one we just showed, tested. This is huge because you can throw this on any DPS, and you get 2 stages of 300% to all enemies. This makes literally every single hero a direct damage nuker if they're a direct damage dealer. So we were talking about some of the older heroes not being strong enough. Now they have like literally 2 rounds of big AoEs, right? If you get one of these, you can throw it onto like, if you look at some of our heroes, right? Like I think everybody gets like a Margarita early on, right? Margarita, okay, 300% max out. Okay, 4 plus it 450 direct damage dealer. Throw that in. That new skill at 1 star is better than the AoE. Margarita used to be really good. Like we used to do direct damage nukes all the time, but now everybody is a direct damage dealer nuker just from 1 copy of this, right? And of course, at higher levels, yes, 2 stages 720, and then if they have lower the HP, do more damage. And then for every absent enemy, you increase the damage even more. So this is sort of like really good nuker. And then later on, it's like every time you kill something, you increase self-direct damage more. Okay, so it's a little bit of overkill. I would say this one, the benefit of ramping up is not as notable as some of the other ones, right? What I like about this one is this one's free-to-play friendly. It's easy to use early on to get. This is another passive one. This one helps with bleed. This increased bleed a lot, and every time an ally. So this, in a way, I won't go into too much detail, but basically this one is a bleed buffer, just like this one is a burn buffer. You can throw it on one of your heroes. It will work okay. So Godly Spirit Peral, here's another passive one. When an ally drops below, start giving them a shield, and this is like a better version of, I think, earlier one we saw here, right? Like if your ally drops below a certain percentage HP, protect them. I think, was it this one? No, this was self, right? I think, was it this one? No, that was a healing one. Which one was the one we saw earlier? Was it this one? No, I forget. There was one earlier I think we saw. Was it here? Like it felt like it was passively able to protect an ally. Where was it? Anyways, I could have swore I saw something earlier. It works basically. Okay, sorry. Maybe this was the one. Okay, so when ally drops below 30%, grant them a shield. Okay, grant 40%, gets a little bit better. This is like giving a whim passive to everybody. But you also have that just even your talent as well. So this one's not that great. It's a 3-turn cooldown. Additionally heal. It helps them protect. But this one, just even at a higher level, this is just not good. So this is one where I say, unfortunately, if you get it, it's not that great. Again, but they're still better than all the ones below, right? So, so we got bleed, burn, whim, and finally this last one, where I like this one a lot because attack down is huge, right? Yes, it's a 200% attack, but being able to cycle 2-turn attack down every 5 turns, this is going to help you with boss and survivability in so many different ways. So bringing attack down to a lot of game content where you might not have an attack down is going to be huge for survivability, especially in situations where you can really outspeed the boss. Put this on a really fast support hero and with decent effective hit. This is going to work wonders. for you as you apply that attack down. So there you have it. Went through all of the skills for you. If you have to pick, if you're a whale, it doesn't really matter. Just pick what you think you want to get. My best recommendation is for free-to-play players. Here are my top 3 choices. Here, if you need a direct damage dealer with AoE capability early on, hopefully you get this one because we can choose, right? This one I think will serve you long term. This one you can use right away. I think, if I have to pick one to recommend, this is the one I recommend because it gives you attack down. Attack down is absolutely invaluable, and being able to put that on support is really helpful. The next one I will probably recommend is, hold on, where is it? I will recommend this one, giving everybody a 30% shield, and be able to use it. It will help tremendously. So this one, attack down. The other one I will recommend is, I will recommend the shield. It's 30% HP shield is better than 11% heal. Okay, totally go for this. This for free to play, I will go for this shield. I will consider going for Jade of Dragon Abyss. This will help you with a lot of the early campaign, but it will fall off later. It will help you in PvP with direct damage dealer. Trust me, this is going to be a big AoE. I will have to test if this thing interacts with focus, because that would be really cool. Because if focus can reset the thing, that would be really nice. I have a feeling it probably wouldn't, but we could probably actually just go test it. You know what? Let's go. Oh, darn it. I equipped it on Marie. So it's, yeah. So anyways, if anybody tests it for me, please let me know in the comments below. And then, here, Guardian Promise. This is meh. Okay. So yeah, top picks will be this one and this one for you. All right. Hopefully, let's finish off with a couple more summons. I have a feeling that we should be able to get a couple more, right? This one, let's go pick. I already got a copy of this. I want to get the shield one, honestly, because I think the shield is going to be really helpful, because it just helps cycle and, gives a little bit of extra shield protection. So confirm. Like, I would definitely use this one, for example, on my Obsora. It'll be really nice. Okay. Alchemize. And let's see if we get it. Fine, they didn't give it to us, but we still got 20 more of these, and I think we're gonna guarantee to get one more. Let's see what we get. Oh my god, what are the odds? Double. Okay, we got a heal, and we got another one of these. That's so nice. Okay, let's do one more. So we got like 4 so far. Wow, this is great. Okay, and this is for all allies and give consolidation. This is a snake eye one, so this is for the poison damage. Wow. Okay, but yeah, like 2 of the ones I want. Would be nice if I get more shields. We'll probably do more summons in the future as the new content comes through and we get more of these. Looking forward to catch you guys in the next one. Gandalf out.